Ultimate segment cars at McLaren should have a very clearly defined identity. And the identity of the P1 comes from a singular concept to develop the ultimate driver's car on road and track. All McLarens are about the driving experience, and with a car like P1 that's especially crucial. What we wanted to do was broaden the driving experience on the road. So with the introduction of E-mode, we have an enormous spectrum from silent city driving all the way through in track mode to the most visceral, exciting driving experience we could possibly conceive. Of course, the fundamental idea of a car that was uncompromised on the road and equally uncompromising on the racetrack means that we have to transform the car from a road car to a track car, which means some very significant changes to the suspension. The car lowers by 55 millimeters, the ride frequency doubles, the roll stiffness increases by 350% in order to maintain extremely accurate body control and maintain the aerodynamic platform close to the racetrack. The first time we ever drove the car in anger on a racetrack was Castelloli in Spain, which is inside a deep gorge. My recollection is hearing the car for the first time with the noise reverberating off the cliff walls, seeing the blue flames shooting out of the exhaust under braking and seeing the discs glowing red hot, and my spine tingling as I watched it and heard it for the first time. I can't believe it's 5 years since we developed this car, but it's great to be reacquainted with its special personality, and it's humbling to see the way people appreciate the car and the qualities that we tried to instill in it 5 years ago.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been another great Formula One season for McLaren so far, and let's hope that success can be continued here today in Paris. I think the answer to that could be hidden just over there. Let's not waste any more time. If you could help welcome me onto the stage, the McLaren Automotive Executive Chairman Ron Dennis and the McLaren Automotive Managing Director Anthony Sheriff. How does it feel to be at McLaren's first international motor show?
Scary.
There's a lot of people here.
Yeah. I'd love to welcome you all to our very, very first automotive show, a show that we've all been looking for and planning for a great many months, and a show which hopefully captures a little bit of the emotion and passion that all of the people in McLaren have for their products, be it a Grand Prix car or some of the products that you're going to see today, or most certainly our new product, the P1.
Well, Anthony, McLaren has been so long associated as being a Formula One company. It's also now a car company. Tell us about that journey.
It's been absolutely thrilling. I remember coming to Paris 2 shows ago, 4 years ago, and we had lots of ideas in our head, lots of plans on paper. But what we actually had on the market was nothing yet. And here we are, 2012 in Paris. We have a full product lineup of cars. We will deliver by the end of this year about 1,500 cars. We have 38 dealers operating in 22 different countries. We have a brand new state-of-the-art production facility. We are, in small scale, a real car company now.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're all here for a reason, and I'm sure you, like me, can't wait to see this new car. Ron, if you'd like to do the introduction.
Well, again, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing the moment. We're going to capture, I hope, some of the passion that we have for our products, some of the passion that is well reflected in this particular product. May I give you the P1.
Gentlemen, Ron, this is an absolutely stunning-looking car. Let's start with the name. I presume P1 comes from the racing side.
P1, yeah, it has perhaps its heritage from the iconic F1. One of the few cars that I think very quickly started to appreciate. We want this to follow the same trend. P1 on the grid, P1 meaning you win. There's nothing like it. We thought an appropriate and simple to remember name. And of course, it captures everything that we're about. Formula One heritage with form-following function.
Anthony, tell us about the goals, the aims of the McLaren P1.
Well, part of McLaren's DNA is to design cars that one can give you race car-like performance, but at the same time also be something that you can drive on the street. And if anything, P1 is this taken to its absolute extreme. What we've tried to do And what we're trying to do is to create a car which gives the same sensations and the same performance as a true GT race car on the track, but you can also drive at home. We do this through a huge amount of technology that comes from our Formula One team, a huge amount of technology we develop within automotive, and specifically about groundbreaking aerodynamics.
And Ron, I understand a lot of the work that went into honing the aerodynamics come from your experience in Grand Prix racing. Perhaps if we just take a walk around the car, you could point out some of the things.
Well, everything is really designed for a purpose. Every outlet on the car is optimized for efficiency. With the sort of performance that we have with this car, we've got a lot of heat management, we have a lot of aerodynamic challenges, and of course, we want to do that in such a way that the car doesn't just look full of holes. And also we want to exploit all the pressure areas on the car, which actually drives one of the quite unique features is where our main cooling is actually through an aperture in the door, also increases the lateral protection for the occupants, and that really minimizes the frontal area devoted to the inlets. And then towards the back of the car is where the car really starts to take on its heritage, phenomenal amount of underbody detail, and of course a very complex geometry expressed in the diffuser. There's really nothing here which is for show. Everything is for a purpose, and of course it generates tremendous aerodynamic performance and efficiency.
So Anthony, if you could just put some of that into more layman's terms.
So very simply, this car generates 600 kilos of downforce, and that's at speeds that you might actually drive on a track, not at top speed.
Yeah.
Or to put it another way, it's like having a teenage elephant as a passenger on the roof.
Yeah.
That's more like a teenage elephant.
Teenage elephant. But you've got to remember that teenagers have to be controlled. And of course, the control system on this car is pretty elaborate. We have a deployable wing, which in fact is in the DRS mode, low drag mode. And then ultimately, when it starts to function in conjunction with all the other aerodynamics, it goes into a high performance mode, which gives you a very significant aerodynamic change, which balances the car at high speed.
Ron, Anthony, thank you very much. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to all of you for coming here tonight. We're going to let you take some photos, and then you can join us maybe in Geneva for the next chapter in the story of the McLaren P1. Thank you.
Thank you.